The interstate bridge spanning across the Columbia River is considered functionally obsolete since it no longer meets the need of modern travel and commerce. It costs $1.2 million a year to maintain and operate. By 2040, it will require an estimated $270 million in capital maintenance work. The interstate bridge is a critical connection linking Oregon and Washington that supports local jobs and families. It serves as a trade route for regional, national, and international trade economies. Beyond the concrete and steel of the existing bridge is a thriving background of scenic views, natural systems, and a rich history of our region's heritage.
Interstate 5 is the most important freight highway on the West Coast, linking our local markets to the global economy. The bridge and program area serves as a vital link to this trade route and provides direct connections to the Port of Vancouver and Port of Portland. Approximately $71 million in freight commodity value crosses the interstate bridge daily.
Most recent data shows that over 143,000 vehicles cross the interstate bridge each weekday. I-5 at the interstate bridge has been identified as one of the region's top bottlenecks, with 7 to 10 hours of congestion every day, costs to our environment, with idling vehicles contributing to increased air pollution, and costs to our economy of nearly $750,000 every day.
The interstate bridge is 2 bridge spans side by side, with one of the bridges now over 104 years old. When it opened in 1917, there was a 5-cent toll per vehicle or horse to cross the bridge. It was built on wood piles and sandy soil, making them vulnerable to failure in the event of an earthquake. It is not practically feasible to retrofit them to current seismic standards. The bridge is a lifeline connection for the region that would likely be substantially damaged during an earthquake and would limit the community's access to critical emergency goods and services. Over the river, narrow lanes, limited sight distance, lack of safety shoulders, and bridge lifts increase vehicle crash rates. The walkway across the bridge is so narrow, it severely limits alternative travel options for those who want to walk, bike, or roll. These paths are also not compliant with the Americans with Disability Act.
Large transportation projects across the country have historically harmed many low-income communities and communities of color. The overall population in the program area has grown 17% since 2000, and the Black, Indigenous, people of color population has grown 49%. Congestion in the corridor makes public transit less reliable, which can discourage transit users and increase transportation costs. It further impacts the 15% of households in the program area that do not own a vehicle. The Interstate Bridge Program is committed to centering equity in all aspects of the bridge to not only avoid further harm to marginalized and underserved communities, but also ensure that they have a voice to shape the interstate bridge and realize the economic and transportation benefits.
The Interstate Bridge Replacement Program is actively working with regional partners and the community to determine the best solution to address the issues with this bridge. The next steps of the program involve completing the environmental process, identifying funding sources, and starting preliminary design, with the goal of beginning construction in 2025.
This vital infrastructure improvement project impacts our economic vitality, our environment, and the safety of our community. Replacing the aging interstate bridge across the Columbia River with a modern, seismically resilient, multimodal structure that provides improved mobility for people, goods, and services will benefit our region and the nation well into the future. Please help us get this done.